So today I am doing what I really have not been wanting to do, but as you guys know, I cracked the oil pan on this vert. So I got my pan from Eustace. He gave me one, which was nice. Tom's gonna give me his, he's got a gasket. So that's the only two parts I need. So free oil pan replacement. I really don't want this video to be a DIY. I'm gonna purposely not make it a DIY because I have a lot of work I'm gonna have to do to get this done. There's DIYs on YouTube. I don't think it's fun to watch. I think you guys are looking more for like a day in the life vlog type stuff. So I'm not gonna burden you with the DIY. I'm gonna kind of just give you updates along the way. Just know that it's miserable. I'm not gonna go through every bolt. You can find that shit online. If you have questions, message me. I'll be happy to help you out if you have to do this. But I'll point out like main things, major things, things I got stuck up on and whatnot. So yeah. The dumbass I am forgot I had that chock underneath it, so I've been pulling the thing up the street and have been absolutely destroying this chock, and now it's basically wedged in the floor. So now I gotta jack it up. I got the vert up on jack stands where it's gonna be after the tow hook getting pulled out of the slot and the car rolling down the driveway. That was pretty scary. But so she's up. I got the jack stands on the frame rails, and then I got two backups on the jack points. I don't really trust these jack points, so I'm under here looking at the carnage. So here it is. The X brace is out. You can see all the places I scraped it, and you can see, can't quite remember, I think right here is what did it, but look at this pan. It's literally like rounded up at the bottom. I straight up like bent the pan. So here you can get a better look at the crack right there, up there. Pan is done. So basically where we're at, sun's basically set. So I focused on getting the power steering stuff out of the way. So the rack is down, the reservoir is down, the pump is down and hanging on the fan shroud. Probably not a great place to put it, but to ease the rack coming down, I unbolted the sway bar on one side to get it out of the way because it was kind of catching, sandwiching basically the rack between the subframe. Got that out of the way. Undid the 13mm bolt right there that holds that to the column. I marked it with a Sharpie so I know, you know, around what orientation it was in, so your alignment's not screwed. But yeah, so rack's down out of the way. Basically, I undid the motor mounts as well. Basically, where that leaves me is tomorrow, jack up the, I got the engine hoist here. Basically, hook that up to the engine and jack it up and see how high I can get the engine. And I might be able to get it high enough to where I don't even need to mess with the subframe, which will be really nice. I'm kind of hoping that's the way I can go, because I'm guessing if I can just get a ratchet in there to unbolt the pan, then I should be able to drop it in the rear and kind of angle the pan down this way. So that's what I'm hoping for. I have read though that you do have to drop the subframe. All right, day 2. I did some research and the subframe does have to come down. So right now I got the hoist hooked up and the motor lifted. So you can see the motor's off the subframe. I took out the lower control arms from the chassis. Those are undone. And then I loosened the subframe bolts. So now I'm gonna take the subframe bolts all the way out, and with a jack under the subframe, I should be able to hopefully lower it easy. I might have to pry it. Once that's lowered, the pan is ready to come off. I'll have easy access to it. I'm hoping that this sketchy little setup here is good, so the engine doesn't fall on my head. But yeah, so time to hopefully lower the subframe easy. I know on E34 parts cars, every time I've dropped a subframe, I've had to sledgehammer it off. So we'll see how this compares. It's a little bit more new of a car. 90 degrees outside in Chicago. Pretty miserable, but we're coming along. And voila, that was actually easier than I thought. So I undid the subframe and lowered it, and you can see there in that time lapse, hopefully, it is now suspended, hanging. So everything is now basically just hanging out of this engine bay. And there's the pan, easy access. to all the bolts, aside from like the fact that I have to work around all this junk. But yeah, the pan's ready to come off. The last stupid bolt took forever, but here we are. Pan is off. Now I just gotta finagle it out of the subframe. And yeah, so here's my oil pump. Oil pump nut seems tight. I should probably safety wire it. Maybe I'll get around to doing that. So looking at the pan, you can see I put a pretty gnarly dent in that thing. This whole piece is dented. So I wonder if, you know, that was other occasions of frame banging that dented it, and then just the final one finally cracked it, or if the dent and the crack all happened in one. But also ripped a fin off right there. This thing looks good, man. I did a number on this bad boy. So there's up in the engine. Here we got the new pan. I just cleaned it up, brake cleaned the inside, because Eustace was nice enough to give me the pan off the motor he blew up, which is nice. So there's some metal in the bottom there. Got it all out, and she's ready to go in. That's the old one, as you guys know. So now I gotta go pick up that gasket off Kyle. I gotta drive out there, so I cleaned up. I'm gonna take a break. I'm pretty happy so far. The removal process, I'd say I put in probably 2 hours yesterday, probably 2 today. Let me see, what time is it? 2:41. Yeah, I'd say I put in about 2 hours. I mean, 4 hours to get it out. That's not too bad. I'm sure putting everything back in is gonna take longer, because that's usually how it goes, and it's just kind of a mess. I mean, to get that and the gasket and all the bolts lined up is gonna be hard, one person, and then just kind of like getting the subframe back in place, the power steering back in place. It's probably gonna be a pain in the ass. All right, I got the gasket and I got the pan in and tightened. It went in pretty nice. Lining it up by yourself is a little difficult, but otherwise it's in, ready to put the subframe back up. Hopefully all goes sort of smooth. We got the subframe back. Lining it up is definitely a two-person job. It is not easy. One of them was a pain to get in, so hopefully we didn't cross-thread that, but subframe's up, and I lowered the motor so it's in its motor mount slots. So now I can pull the hoist out. I'm just gonna tighten down the motor mount bolts, or the nuts, and then all that's left is power steering rack to go back up and put all the reservoir and the pump back on the motor, and we're good. All right, moment of truth. We got oil after fighting with the power steering reservoir bracket for like an hour. Don't smile, buddy. Got the new filter in, and we're ready to put some oil in her. All right, so the oil's in. We pulled the fuel pump fuse so we can just dry crank it, build up oil pressure. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. It was almost in gear. All right. Sounds good to me. What? All right, we're good. Put that baby back in and let's fire this hog up. I'm a little nerve. Ready? All right, well, here goes nothing. Let's see if we got rod knock. Oh, it sounds beautiful. No, it sounds good. No knock. No knock. The motor lived. It survived the oil pan. What do you have to say? Kick rocks.
BMW.
This is what a man looks like after being under an oil pan all day. Sounds good. Fresh oil. Oh, buddy. Oh. That's normal. Normal noise. No leaks. Runs good. I got a hole in the exhaust. Right there. But otherwise, motor sounds really good. No leaks in the gasket. I'm gonna let it idle up on the stands for a little bit and then lower it and take her for a drive. The vert is back in action, aside from a bad exhaust leak, and I put the steering column in improper, so maybe under this light you can see that the wheel is completely cocked. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. Aside from that, this bad boy is perfectly good.
Knock.
Knock. No, this thing's solid, man. The motor lived, everything lived. 2 days later, or I guess 3, I took my time. It's good. Thank God, because I just put like $30 worth of gas in it. So she's actually smoking pretty good. So either it's residual exhaust or the stick popped out. No, the oil dipstick's in. I think it's just the exhaust is coated in oil. But it is idling like it's got a vacuum leak, which is weird. You can kind of hear it. But yeah, she's smoking pretty good. Why is it doing that? Is it?
Yeah.
It's leaking a little oil.
I don't know if that's you.
No, I just pressed drop.
I don't know if that's you. I was looking at it. And it didn't drip anymore after.
Oh. So it is my ICV?
Yeah.
How do you know? Alright, so my ICV is popped out. Oh. Alright, I think it's just residual smoke, right? Probably.
Drive it for a little bit, let it burn off.
Yeah, I gotta fix that ICV. It is in fact residual oil burning off, and I accidentally popped the ICV hose out. So popped it back in, idles back to normal, no more smoke, still smells, but she's whipping, and that's straight. So I'm gonna have to mess with that, but otherwise. All right, so we're in the vert. I can't remember what I touched on when I finished the pan job, which was like 2 days ago now. So went for the test drive, a lot of smoke, smelled really bad like when I cracked the pan, and I was like, oh crap, like I thought like maybe I did blow up the motor. It didn't sound good because this car's a really bad exhaust leak all of a sudden. Like I guess just driving that low, I really like ruined the exhaust. So I gotta get that fixed, but because of that, like it sounds really awful, like whatever. But so got a little scared, and then apparently when I was checking the oil, I accidentally moved the dipstick tube, which is no longer like bolted to the thing, and I was messing with everything, and I knocked the ICV out. I don't think I ever posted it when I was fixing the ICV. I popped it out on accident, and the grommet is a little loose on it, so it popped out and the car idled really bad. So I was like, I thought like the car was done, but popped it back in, idle, returned to normal, everything was good there. Kept on driving, the smoke died off, the smell died off, and now the vert is back in action. It's good to go, new pan, pan's not leaking. I think I cracked the power steering hose because that leaks a little bit, which is annoying. And I put the column into the rack the wrong way. I lost my marks for some reason, which bothers me. I can't remember. I couldn't find them on the column. So basically, driving straight in the car is like the wheels like this, which sucks. But easy fix. Power steering, easy fix. Exhaust leak, easy fix. And the car's good. I don't know. I started the car. You could probably maybe hear that exhaust leak. It sounds pretty awful. But yeah, so I gotta get those things fixed, and I think I'm just gonna list this car up for sale with the wheels for a higher price, or I'll sell the wheels separately. But thank you guys for watching my vert oil pan video. Learned from my mistake. Maybe I didn't, I don't know, but I'll see you guys next time.